Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again, and I'm here to share with you your daily dosage of medicine to life. I was awakened this morning when I heard the news media say something about the courts had affirmed that Trump and his plans to prevent those who are suffering and seeking asylum, those victims from coming into this country. Now, this reality, we might look at Trump and talk about him, but this is a statement of the American people. This action is a statement of you, the American people. And before this medicine is complete, I would like for you to see exactly what I mean. You see, Trump and the courts, they are the voices of America. America has spoken, and it delivered Trump. It delivered the courts. And the statement that you have, the decision that was rendered by the courts, that's a statement of the American people. It's like you, the people, are the body, and the courts represents the brain, and Trump is the mouthpiece, or the vice versa. Now, let a storm like the one that just passed cross America, and let the American people, 50 states of the American people, let them be affected just like the devastation that we saw in the Bahamas. What would America feel and want? What would you, the American people, feel? And what would you want having a devastation like that, which happened in the Bahamas? Well, what would they say if they had reached out to some others to help them and they got no assistance? Nothing was available. What would they think about the most compassionate, the most loving, God expressive country on earth if that country rejected them? They would say, this is the heartlessness of America. And this is what I am saying, that the message that is being rendered today is the heartlessness of America. But why are Americans so heartless? Well, it reflects the hypocrisy of the church. The church wants America to believe that it is the institution left here by God to keep America on the right path. And anywhere that the church is to keep those people on the right path. And America has spoken and said there's a separation between the church and the state. In other words, the state is saying we don't want anything to do with the church unless the church supports what we are about. And that basically means, you know, the statement that goes, when things are going bad, all it needs to continue is for good people to do nothing. So the only thing that America needs to be evil is for the church, if it's good, to do nothing. Well, how can the church be any good when the church is so split and divided? What is their message? The God they teach about is the same God of the state, which is money. It is said that America is full. That's what I heard the president say, speaking for the people. No more room. You see, money has no answer. And what it says is, go back. Go back. Now, I say to you about your medication, only the true God has an answer. It is an answer that no American wants. Yes, many say they want better, but they accept whatever goes on by doing nothing. This is also, my friends, my sisters, my fellow Americans, the reason that poverty exists in America. The people's love for money causes them to resist change. In the presidential campaign of 2020, the effort is to defeat one voice of the status quo and inject a different voice of the status quo. Poverty, crime, and violence will continue, just like it has for the past 200 plus years, by the will of the people, still rejecting real loving change, still rejecting God's plan. They won't do something about, or they want to do something about vaping. You know vaping. You've been hearing it on the TV. But poverty, they can bear that. They want to end abortions, but starving children and families are okay. They want to end abortion, but capital punishment and war, it's okay. Wow. What a mixed up people. I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, about the good medicine. Now listen to me, because all medicine, some of it is synthetic and it breaks down and has no real value. But let me tell you about the good medicine. You see, righteousness and righteous folk do the righteous thing. They don't do the expedient thing. They do righteous. You see, righteous people don't vote for the lesser of two evils. They do the righteous. And they let evil deal with the lesser of two evils. Now, there are those of you who are wondering why I received no respect when I ran for the United States president. And even now, because I represent righteousness. Now, basically what I'm saying is, during the last presidential election, people were saying Trump is better than Miss Clinton. Clinton is better than Trump. Republicans are better than Democrats. Democrats are better than Republicans. And the truth of the matter is, they said amongst themselves, well, our candidate might not be righteous, but it's the lesser of the two. And these people who called themselves righteous went to the polls and voted. Now, somebody might say, well, the righteous are so small that they will not win, so I'm going to go with the lesser of two evils, whichever side I feel or I fall on. But righteous people don't do that. Righteous people stand up for righteous. Now, let's say if everybody went and participated, everybody that could vote in the United States went and participated in that election, that would indicate that there were no righteous people in America at all. Now, God loves you, and God is righteous, and God knows the plan. So God had someone, it could have been a lot of people, I don't know, but I'm speaking about me. God had me to run for the presidency of the United States. Not through the system that is established, not through the state's system, because the state system is used to perpetuate what it has. It protects itself. But God came in on the side, over the top and under the bottom, says, here I am. I represent righteousness. I represent peace and prosperity and joy and freedom and the fulfillment of your dreams. And everybody says they want that. But you check and see how many votes that the voice of that particular plan got. Check it. I've done this 4 or 5 times. 4 and 5 different presidential elections. I stood up and championed that voice of God. And all of the righteous people decides to go and vote for a form of evil. Right now you have this campaign that's going on, and you have people talking about everything but the righteous thing. They are identifying some things that seems to be good, you know, like charity, like going over and helping somebody when they are down. But as soon as they get up, then you go back home, and the same thing that's been going on all along continues to go on. That's the trickery of the state. It makes you think you're being righteous when you are not. You're just doing what evil and unrighteousness will permit you to do. And that's why you do it. You see, righteousness stands up by itself. And if, let's say what you've been taught, that Jesus is going to return. Do you think if Jesus returned, that those of you who consider yourselves righteous, who voted for the lesser of two evils, you think Jesus would take you? Why would he take you? If he took you, he might as well take everybody. But they said he's coming for the righteous. So if there was one person that stood for righteousness, then Jesus would come and take one person. Now I know you didn't want to hear that, but you need the proper doctor. You need the proper medication. And let me say this and I close. Nobody in the Democratic Party is talking about righteousness. They're talking about the Democratic way. They're talking about a form of the status quo. And you know what the Republicans are talking about. Well, for those of you who think the Republicans are righteous, let me tell you, they are talking about the status quo as well. It has nothing to do with righteousness. And when I come to you and say I have no desire really to be president, but I have a commitment to stand up for what is righteous. I have a commitment as one that God has shown what love is. One who has accepted that. One who is satisfied with that. To stand up for righteousness. And all of the things, the borders being closed down, all of the ugliness that's happening in America today, those who thought you were better than that see that you are just that. And yet, they're having a debate today, like a football game. Everybody's stating their case, and you're sitting watching television, and the news commentary will come on and explain to you who did this or who did that, and they are basically bigots. They're going to tell you what they like best and try to lift it up, and you sitting there like fans in the stand, ready to cheer somebody on, rather than having a plan yourself. Rather than understanding that any of this crazy stuff that allows people to lose their mind. You know, now people are being shot by the police because the police and others are saying that they got a mental problem. Bipolar, stuff like this. That people are going out just shooting up people. Why? Because they've been driven crazy in this system. And you're talking about more police. Let's put more police in Minneapolis. I heard somebody say they need about, was it 40 more police next year, or was it 400? Well, let me say 40. 40 more police on the street. Put the police in the neighborhood. Make this a police state. Drive the people crazy. And then make it a police state where they have to continue to allow those who are in power, who promote the system like this, who are riding high on Peel Hill, to keep on doing what they will. And here I am standing before you today, those of you who are still listening, saying to you, righteousness is the key. Righteousness is about love. Righteousness is understanding the source of life. Righteousness is about understanding the source of all good benefits. Righteousness is understanding what it takes to draw that to you. Righteousness stands up and says, here I am, the key, use this. And all of those who are pretending to be righteous will turn around and say, you don't stand a chance, brother. So I am not supporting you. I'm not going to waste my vote. I'm going to vote for evil. Not the big evil, but the lesser evil. Not knowing that with your vote, you empower a small evil to become the biggest evil on earth. And righteousness sitting right there looking at you. So God is sitting right there looking at you, ladies and gentlemen. America, God is watching you. God is seeing everything that you're doing. And what you're doing when you closing these doors on people that's suffering is meaning that you have been overcome by evil. And if you have been overcome by evil, you will become just like those states, just like those nations where people are running from. You are going to be exactly like that. And on top of that, you would have built a border around you. So you got to take it. You can't even escape. You can't run away. You are imprisoned right here under the guise of evil. Now you can take this message if you want to and swallow it. Or you can spit it out. But you swallow it and you will be delivered. You will be cured. You spit it out and you will die. I want to thank you so very much for giving me these 15 minutes. And until next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying goodbye.